So you want to become fluent in 2025, but you don't know which method to follow. Most students enroll in a course, buy some books, follow some YouTubers, but don't become fluent. They don't get the result they want. Today, I'll share the smartest method to become fluent in English in 2025. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. The smartest method to get fluent is learning real English in a real context. This is the smartest method because you improve all areas of your English at the same time. Now, there are different ways that you can do this, and you'll learn these different ways in this masterclass. So first, let's start with a listening exercise. Now, this is a smart method because you're going to improve your listening skills, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, learn correct grammar, and learn correct pronunciation all at the same time. I'm going to say a sentence 3 times at a natural pace, and you need to write down exactly what you hear in the comments. Let's get started. Is Tuesday doable? Is Tuesday doable? Is Tuesday doable? Did you get this one? I said, is Tuesday doable? Only 3 words, but maybe you didn't hear that last word. Or maybe you heard it, but you don't understand what this means. So let's talk about it. First, for pronunciation, some native speakers pronounce Tuesday as Tuesday, with a ch sound, Tuesday. This is not standard pronunciation in American English. In American English, standard pronunciation is Tuesday. But you may hear Tuesday, so don't be confused, but I recommend you use Tuesday. Let's talk about to be doable. If something is doable, it means it's achievable. So you are able to do it, it's doable. This expression is commonly used in the negative. For example, finishing the project with 3 people wasn't doable, so we hired 2 more.
It's not doable.
In this example, notice wasn't. This is the verb to be doable, is conjugated in the past simple with the subject, and it's in the negative. Of course, you can also use this expression in the positive. You could say, becoming a confident English speaker is doable. It's achievable, right? You agree with that? So put that's doable, that's doable, that's doable, put it in the comments. And I certainly hope these lessons help you do just that. So of course, make sure you subscribe and share these lessons with your friends.
Well, that sounds doable.
Doable. Totally doable.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Did you get this one? I said dinner's ready. You probably heard that one. Let's dig in. Again, maybe you heard the words, but you're not really sure what this means. So let's talk about that. First, notice dinner's ready. Dinner is, and then as a contraction, dinners. Dinner's ready. Let's, this is a contraction, let us, let's dig in. Dig in is a phrasal verb, so native speakers will link those sounds together. We'll take that G sound and we'll transfer it to the next word. Dig in, gin. So you hear that G in front of in, but you have to say them as one word. Dig in, dig in. Let's dig in. Dig in has a simple meaning. It means to begin eating a meal. Someone might say, the food's getting cold, please dig in. Please start eating. Or someone might say, before we dig in, let's take a moment to appreciate this beautiful meal. Keep in mind this phrasal verb, let's dig in, it's only used with meals, but it's very commonly used and you eat at maybe 3 times a day, so you can get a lot of use out of this one expression.
Dig in.
Let's dig in.
Dig in.
Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. Mark my words, I'll get it done. Mark my words, I'll get it done. Mark my words, I'll get it done. How'd you do with this one? I said, mark my words, I'll get it done. So again, pronunciation perhaps easy to understand the words, but what does this mean? First, for pronunciation, notice all. That's our contraction. I will, all. I'll get it. Because we have a T and it's between 2 vowels, so we'll pronounce that T as a soft D, but you have to connect the sounds together. Get it, done. Native speakers do something a little weird. Sometimes we change the word it to her, but we pronounce it as So it will sound like get her done, I'll get her done. Can you get her done? So we do that even though there is no gender in English, so the it doesn't represent a female noun. But when we do change a noun to a gender, we always use her, but we pronounce it as Get her done. You can hear that in this clip.
I think I can get her done in under 5 hours.
Now, to get it done, to get something done, native speakers will commonly say get her done. This simply means that you complete a task, but we're using it because the task is obvious. It's already been identified, so you can change it to it. So if you're in a meeting and you're discussing a report, then it's obvious, so someone might ask you, can you get it done by 5 o'clock? You can reply back and say, mark my words, I'll get her done. Now, what does mark my words mean? This is a way of saying I promise, or I'm certain this is true. In this case, it's a promise, I will get it done, and that's why we're using the future simple, because we use the future simple with promises and commitments. You can use this expression in more of a dramatic way to say, I'm certain this is true. For example, you shouldn't work with that company, mark my words. So you're emphasizing your certainty about the fact that the person shouldn't work with that company, maybe because they have a bad reputation. Mark my words. So you can use this as a standalone expression before or after to sound quite dramatic, quite forceful.
Mark my words, Seinfeld.
Mark my words.
Mark my words, pal.
Let's try this one more time. I'll say it 3 times. We need to up the ante. We need to up the ante. We need to up the ante. Did you get this one? I said we need to up the ante. To is commonly reduced to just a ta. We need to up the ante. Notice that pronunciation, ante. And you can pronounce the as the with a long E because ante starts with a vowel. Native speakers don't always follow this rule. To up the ante, this is when you increase your demands in a situation or your risk involved in a situation, and you do this to achieve a better result. This is commonly used in negotiation. So imagine there's a union and they're negotiating with the company, and the union increased their demands. They upped the ante. For example, the union upped the ante by demanding a 5% raise. Now notice here, the word up is used as the verb, to up the ante. And that's why it's conjugated in the past simple, upped. And notice that pronunciation, it's a soft T. The ED is pronounced as a soft T, upped, upped the ante. Now you negotiate anytime you're entering into a partnership, an agreement, even when you accept a job with a company. So you can use this expression. Maybe a business is trying to get a new contract. And someone says, I thought we had until the end of the week to accept the contract. And someone else replies, we did, but they upped the ante. So they increased their demands. We have until 5 p.m. tonight.
Great emotion. Talk about upping the ante.
Well, the dress, up the ante.
We've got to up the ante.
Now let's do an imitation exercise so you can practice your pronunciation. I'll say each sentence again 3 times, but after each sentence, I want you to repeat it out loud. Here we go. Is Tuesday doable? Is Tuesday doable? Is Tuesday doable? Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Dinner's ready, let's dig in. Mark my words, I'll get it done. Mark my words, I'll get it done. Mark my words, I'll get it done. We need to up the ante. We need to up the ante. We need to up the ante. Now let's keep going with this listening method, but we'll do a more advanced listening exercise because instead of listening to me, you're going to listen to clips from TV and movies. Here's how this lesson will work. You're going to listen to a short clip from a TV show or a movie, and you'll listen to that clip 3 times. And you need to write down exactly what you hear in the comments. Are you ready? Here's our first clip. I'll play it 3 times.
Claire, let's get a move on. Claire, let's get a move on. Claire, let's get a move on.
So, how did you do with that clip? Did it sound fast? He said, Claire, let's get a move on. First, let's talk about let's. This is a contraction of let us. Let's. Native speakers always say let's. And this is the imperative verb tense, which is used for orders or instructions. So this is given as an instruction. Let's get a. Now, native speakers, it sounds like we speak fast because we take individual words, we don't add pauses, and we pronounce them as one word. Get a sounds like getta. Move on, you have the v on move. Now on is a vowel, so we can transfer that sound and we can say these two like one word. Move on, von, move on, move on, move on. Now, what does this mean? Let's get a move on. This is an idiom, and it means to begin moving faster or quickly. It's the same as saying hurry or hurry up. You could say to your friend, the movie starts in less than 1 hour. Let's get a move on. Let's hurry. Let's move faster. Or you can say, if we're going to finish the project on time, we need to get a move on. So now you know how to combine your sounds so you can speak faster, and you know what this expression means, so it's your turn to practice. I want you to imitate my pronunciation, and I want you to say it out loud, and I'll say it 3 times. Let's get a move on. Let's get a move on. Let's get a move on.
Claire, let's get a move on.
Let's get a move on us.
Let's get a move on!
Let's try this again. I'll play the clip 3 times.
Just give me a shout when you're done. Just give me a shout when you're done. Just give me a shout when you're done.
How'd you do with this one? Just give me a shout when you're done. Let's talk about how to combine those sounds together. Give me. Do you know what a native speaker says? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Now, we can also take that article a and add it and say gimmea, gimmea, gimmea. Native speakers also reduce sounds, so we say them very unstressed. So instead of saying your, which is very stressed, I need to open my mouth wide, your, I can just say your. And the sound is unstressed, it's more in my throat, your. Now let's talk about what this means. Give me a shout. What does this mean? Maybe you know what the verb to shout, which means to shout, but what about a shout as a noun? Well, this simply means call me, because a shout is a phone call. So give me a shout is the same as saying call me. So if I'm leaving the house or the office, I could say to the people there, give me a shout if you need anything. I'm leaving, but call me if you need anything. Give me a shout. This is commonly used with a when clause. Give me a shout when you land. So notice when plus present simple, when you land. Give me a shout when you land. Call me when you land. In this case, it was give me a shout when you're done. You are done. So to be done, this means to be finished. So this means the task is complete. I could text you or give you a shout and say, I'm done with the report. I'm finished with the report. The report is complete. I could also say I'm done working on the report. So notice you need your gerund verb. I'm done working on the report. Or I could simply say I'm done. So now it's your turn to practice. I'll say it 3 times and I want you to repeat it out loud. Just give me a shout when you're done. Just give me a shout when you're done. Just give me a shout when you're done.
Just give me a shout when you're done.
If he pops out, give me a shout.
I'll give you a shout when we're done.
Let's try this again. I'll play the clip 3 times.
Sorry, give me a sec. Sorry, give me a sec. Sorry, give me a sec.
How'd you do with this one? I'm sorry, give me a sec. This should have been easy for you because you just learned give me, gimme, and give me a, gimme a, gimme a. Now, what does sec mean? Give me a sec? What's a sec? It is short for second. We take the word second and we shorten it to sec. Notice that K sound, sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. We use this to say, give me a short period of time. So that might be a few seconds, or it could also be a few minutes. I could say, give me a sec to find your file. And then I take, hopefully, just 3 to 5, maybe 10 seconds to find your file. And you're waiting. Give me a sec to find your file. This is commonly used to get someone's attention and to ask if they have time right now. So you could knock on my door and say, Jennifer, do you have a sec? So you're asking me, do you have a few minutes? Do you have a few seconds? Do you have a sec? Or maybe you could text your colleague and say, where are you? The meeting started 5 minutes ago. And then you reply back and say, I'll be there in a sec. I'll be there in a short period of time. Now it's your turn to practice this one. I'll say it 3 times. I'm sorry, give me a sec. I'm sorry, give me a sec. I'm sorry, give me a sec.
Sorry, give me a sec.
Do you have a sec?
I'll be there in a sec.
Let's try this one more time. I'll play the clip 3 times.
I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured it out.
Did this one sound fast to you? It was pretty fast. He said, and I still haven't figured it out. Again, it sounds fast because we're taking individual words and combining them together. Figured it out sounds like figured it out. So you need to take the end sound from one word and transfer it to the next. Figured it out. And then it has to sound like one word. Figured it out. Figured it out. Figured it out. Figured it out. To figure something out, most students know what this means. It means to understand or solve something. As a question, I could ask you, have you figured it out? Now I can also add yet. Have you figured it out yet? This is in the present perfect verb tense. So if you use he or she as the subject, you need to change have to has. Has he, has she figured it out yet? To reply positively, you can say, I have figured it out. You can add already. I have already figured it out. And then for he or she has already figured it out. When you reply positively, this is a completed past action, but there's a result in the present. So maybe the result is, so now the client won't fire us because I've figured it out. I've solved the issue or the problem. But in the clip, it was negative. I haven't figured it out. And then you can add yet at the end. For he or she, you need hasn't, which is the contraction. He hasn't figured it out yet. This shows that it's an ongoing process. You're still trying to figure it out. But did you notice that the speaker said, I still haven't figured it out? So the speaker didn't use yet, they used still. And notice that placement. It's subject, I, still, and then haven't, or if it's he or she, he still hasn't figured it out. Using still instead of yet, it emphasizes that it's ongoing. And it also emphasizes the difficulty of the task. So it sounds like he's struggling with this. You might say, we've been working on this bug for hours and we still haven't figured it out. So it really emphasizes the struggle. I could reply back and say, okay, give me a shout when you figure it out. Because remember, you need the present simple after that when statement. Give me a shout when you figure it out. Or I could be less patient and put pressure on this person and say, well, let's get a move on. The client will be here in an hour. Now it's your turn to practice. I'll say it 3 times and you need to repeat after me. I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured it out. I still haven't figured it out.
I still haven't figured it out.
If you haven't figured it out yet,
No one's figured it out yet.
Another smart method to become fluent fast is the reading and listening method. So we're going to do that by reading a news article together on a very interesting topic, maybe one you've thought of before, how the pyramids were built. First, I'll read the headline. How were the pyramids built? So our headline is actually a question. Questions are definitely something I see a lot of mistakes with. So notice this sentence structure, how, and then we have our verb to be conjugated in what? The past plural, because it's being conjugated with pyramids, which is plural. How were the pyramids? This is the subject. How were the pyramids built? Now, let's say you wanted to take this question and you wanted to complete this sentence. I wonder, do you know how to complete the sentence? I wonder how the pyramids, this is the subject, and then we have our auxiliary verb and our main verb. I wonder how the pyramids were built. And notice it ends with a period because this is not a question, this is a statement, which is why we have the subject and then the verb. So what about you? Have you ever wondered how the pyramids were built? Let's review this question. What verb tense is it in? The present perfect. Have you ever wondered how the pyramids were built? And to answer this, you can say, yes, I have. Yes, I have wondered how the pyramids were built, or no, I haven't. So here's the short form of the question. So put your answer in the comments. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Put that in the comments. And now let's continue and find out. One of history's most ancient and unsolved puzzles. Notice the pronunciation here, ancient, ancient. One of history's most ancient and unsolved puzzles is the construction of the pyramids. Again and again over the course of history. So here, again and again. This is very useful to have in your vocabulary. Again and again is a very natural way to say repeatedly. Native speakers use this a lot. For example, I asked her again and again to clean her room. So you can use this with a little frustration or annoyance. Or you can use this in a more positive way. I practice again and again for my IELTS. So a very natural expression. Again and again, over the course of history, many scholars and scientists asked and wondered the same question of how the pyramids were built. So notice here, this is written as a statement. They're stating what the question is, but they're not asking it as a question. And you know that because the subject comes first, how the pyramids were built. The Great Pyramids of Giza and the other pyramids, over 100 Egyptian pyramids, are considered the greatest pieces of human engineering and architecture. Notice the pronunciation. I hear a lot of mistakes with this. Even students who have this job title, I hear mistakes. Architecture, architecture, architecture. The job title is architect, and the field area of study is architecture. I'm an architect. I studied architecture. Now let's go back because I want you to notice here are considered the greatest pieces. If you used regarded, you would need regarded as, are regarded as the greatest pieces, but you don't need the preposition as with considered. So the structure is to be, here's our verb to be considered something or to be regarded as something. Now let's continue. These monuments are still standing after over 4,500 years and are still a mystery unsolved to this day. To this day is a useful phrase. It means until now. We use it in more of a poetic sense or when we want to emphasize something specific. For example, to this day, I don't know why she quit. So let's say she quit 5 months ago. 5 months ago, you could have said, I don't know why she quit. And from 5 months ago until now, to this day, I don't know why she quit. She had an amazing job. So this is why you don't understand her reason for quitting. So the pyramids are still a mystery unsolved to this day. It sounds more dramatic. Some scriptures found from ancient Egyptians can help us to understand a bit better how the construction of such monuments has come about. So notice here, come about, to come about, but this is conjugated in the present perfect, has come about. This simply means happen. You could say, to this day, so using this expression again, to this day, I don't know how the problem came about. I don't know how the problem happened or started. And in the past, you weren't sure how it came about. And still today, now, so from the past until now, you don't know how the problem came about, happened. Let's continue. These huge structures of limestone or mud brick are the oldest known man-made structures on our planet. Known in this sentence is important because without it, it sounds like a fact that the pyramids are the oldest man-made structures on our planet. But by including known, it's suggesting that perhaps there are older man-made structures, but we don't know about them because we haven't discovered them. So it's adding some doubt to it. The oldest known man-made structures, you could also say the oldest man-made structures on our planet that we know of. It means the exact same thing, so you can just summarize that by putting known. The general theory is based on the belief that the huge stones were carved from the quarries using copper chisels. A chisel is simply a tool. Then these blocks, so the blocks being the huge stones that were carved, the blocks that were used to form the pyramids, then these blocks were dragged and lifted into position. Let's look at the verb to drag. When you drag something, you move it by pulling it on the ground rather than lifting it. So in this case, they weren't able to lift the stones because they were too heavy. So they had to drag them on the ground. But this is something that children commonly do with their items, or adults do with items that are also too heavy to lift. But for kids, you hear parents say a lot, don't drag your school bag, it will get dirty. So the kid has their school bag and they're just dragging it behind them rather than lifting it up. However, this is very important, this transition word, however, because now we know there's going to be a contrasting point. So this is one theory. So now it sounds like there's going to be another theory because they used however, which is always used to introduce a contrasting point. Transition words are an easy way to instantly sound more fluent and advanced, so I highly recommend you use them. However, the method regarding the movement and placing of these stones is under great dispute. Our expression is to be under dispute, and then great just modifies it to be under dispute. This means there isn't agreement. So some people believe this, other people believe this. There isn't agreement. The techniques that were used in the process of constructing the Egyptian pyramids have baffled many historians and scientists for countless years. Let's take a look at baffled. This is used to say that you don't understand or that you're confused. So take a look at this example. The fact that she quit her job baffles me. This baffles me. So the something is this entire clause here. The fact that she quit her job baffles me. Another way of saying this is I don't understand why she quit her job. But when you use baffle, it emphasizes your lack of understanding or that you find something very confusing. So it's a great way to emphasize this, and it's very commonly used. So I suggest you add it to your speech. So the Egyptian pyramids have baffled many historians and scientists for countless years. When you don't want to specify a number, but you want it to sound like a big number, you can say countless. I've been learning English for countless years. It sounds like a big number, maybe 10, maybe 15, countless years. Here's another example using countless. I've asked her countless times to stop dragging her school bag. So again, it emphasizes many times. Remember, you could also use I've asked her again and again, which also sounds like many times. Many controversial hypotheses were introduced regarding the construction of the pyramids. Let's talk about controversial. If something is controversial, it means it causes disagreement or debate. So by saying that the pyramids were built this way, well, remember, it's under dispute. So some people don't agree with that. So that theory is controversial. It causes other people to become upset because they don't agree with it. Many controversial hypotheses. Hypotheses, this is the plural of hypothesis. One hypothesis, two or more hypotheses. So notice the pronunciation changes at the end to identify the singular versus the plural. And a hypothesis is a theory as to the reason for something. So the hypothesis for how the pyramids were built, it's a theory. Many controversial hypotheses were introduced regarding the construction of the pyramids. The form of the workforce is also under debate. Before we saw to be under dispute, now we have to be under debate, which is the same thing. It's the fact that people don't agree. Some people say this is the reason. Other people say this is the reason, and they don't agree with each other. But notice that sentence structure. To be under is our preposition, and then before dispute, and here debate. One theory suggests that the pyramids were constructed using slave labor. And another theory suggests they were built by tens of thousands of free skilled workers that worked for a salary. If they work for a salary, it means they're paid for their work, so they're not slaves because slaves were not paid. So these are two theories that are under dispute or under debate. Let's continue. What is certain is that the workforce was highly organized and managed to the highest level by following an organized and planned process that consisted of 3 phases. So here, notice what is certain is, and then the statement. This is useful if you want to introduce a statement, but you want to suggest it's 100% true. It's not under debate, it's not under dispute, it's accepted as the truth. Here's a sentence in an everyday context. What is certain is that I'm not going to buy her a new school bag. So you could say, I'm not going to buy her a new school bag. But when you add what is certain is that, it emphasizes it. It makes it sound like a strong statement. Now, you could also say it in a shorter way by saying, I'm certainly not going to buy her a new school bag. And that still emphasizes that point. So here is a longer form so you can see the sentence structure, and then you can also just add the adverb certainly. I'm certainly not going to buy her a new school bag. And why? Because you asked her again and again not to drag her school bag, but she didn't listen, and the fact she didn't listen baffles you. So what is certain is that the workforce, this is a useful term because it summarizes all the people working at a specific time or for a specific company. So you could talk about the workforce of a country, which means all the people available to work in the country or the workforce of a certain company as well. So you see this a lot in economic or business news. So in this case, the workforce represents the total number of people who built the pyramids. The workforce was highly organized. In this case, highly means very, very or extremely highly organized and managed to the highest level by following an organized and planned process that consisted of 3 phases. And that's the end of our article. So what I'll do now is I'll read the article from start to finish, and this time you can focus on my pronunciation. So let's do that now. How were the pyramids built? One of history's most ancient and unsolved puzzles is the construction of the pyramids. Again and again, over the course of history, many scholars and scientists asked and wondered the same question of how the pyramids were built. The Great Pyramids of Giza and the other pyramids, over 100 Egyptian pyramids, are considered the greatest pieces of human engineering and architecture. These monuments are still standing after over 4,500 years and are still a mystery unsolved to this day. Some scriptures found from ancient Egyptians can help us to understand a bit better how the construction of such monuments has come about. These huge structures of limestone or mud brick are the oldest known man-made structures on our planet. The general theory is based on the belief that the huge stones were carved from the quarries using copper chisels. Then these blocks were dragged and lifted into position. However, the method regarding the movement and placement of these stones is under great dispute. The techniques that were used in the process of constructing the Egyptian pyramids have baffled many historians and scientists for countless years. Many controversial hypotheses were introduced regarding the construction of the pyramids. The form of the workforce is also under debate. One theory suggests that the pyramids were constructed using slave labor, and another theory suggests they were built by tens of thousands of free skilled workers that worked for a salary. What is certain is that the workforce was highly organized and managed to the highest level by following an organized and planned process that consisted of 3 phases.
You absolutely can learn in a more formal and structured environment, and I do this with my students as well, but keep in mind that in this more formal and structured environment, you should learn full phrases, not individual words. So now let's learn 12 full phrases you can use every day. Number 1, do you want to grab a coffee after work? Do you know this phrase? This is a casual way to invite someone to socialize. So I said, do you want to grab coffee after work? You could say this to your coworker because you're inviting your coworker to socialize, or maybe you texted this to your friend, you're both working and you're going to socialize after work. Now in this case, grab means have a coffee or get a coffee. It's the same meaning. And you can use this with coffee, tea, lunch, dinner, or a bite. A bite means a meal. But careful, because you cannot say, do you want to grab a movie? Do you want to grab a walk? Do you want to grab a football game? You can't say these things, but you can use this expression with any food or drink. So you can say, let's grab a coffee this weekend. You can use whatever time reference you want. We should grab a coffee this week. We need to grab coffee soon. When are you free to grab coffee? So many alternative ways to say this.
Do you want to grab dinner sometime?
You want to grab breakfast?
You want to grab a coffee?
Don't worry about taking notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Number 2, you bet. You bet. I use this expression every day, and now you can too. This is a casual way to affirm something. It's the same as saying definitely or absolutely. So let's say your friend texts you and says, let's grab a coffee this weekend. You can reply back to affirm this request or invitation and say, you bet, you bet. Your friend or your sister or your girlfriend, wife might say, do you want to go shopping this weekend? Again, to affirm that casually like a native speaker, you can say, you bet. Or are you ready to go? Now you're affirming that yes, you are ready to go. So you can simply say, you bet, I'm ready to go, but just say, you bet. So I can ask you, are you ready to move on to the next expression? If you are, then say, you bet, Jennifer, you bet, I'm ready to move on. But you can just say, you bet, put that in the comments.
Sure, you bet, you bet.
You bet.
Now let's move on. Number 3, keep me posted. Have you heard this one? Maybe you've heard keep me updated. Posted means updated. It's the same thing. This is a casual way to ask someone to share information or news with you, but when it's available. So as it becomes available. So let's say you're talking to your friend or family member and they say, tomorrow I'm meeting with Zach's teacher to discuss his poor grades. And Zach is this person's young son. Maybe he's 8 years old. Now, to say to this person that you want her to share information with you as it's happening, you can simply say, keep me posted, keep me posted. This means after the meeting, tell me what happened. Keep me posted. Maybe your friend says, I might not be able to grab coffee this weekend because my in-laws are coming. So you can reply back and say, keep me posted. This means let me know if you can or can't come when that information is available. Keep me posted.
Keep me posted. Keep me posted. Keep me posted.
Number 4, I'd better get going. Have you heard this one? This is a casual way to say that you need to leave. So you might say, oh wow, it's already 8:45. I'd better get going. I'd better leave. The kids go to bed at 9 p.m. Now notice here, I'd. This is a contraction of I had better. So make sure you get that I'd. Repeat after me, I'd better. I'd better get going, and of course, get going means leave. You can use this as a suggestion to the person you're with. We'd better get going if we don't want to be stuck in traffic. Or again, look at the time. This is an expression, look at the time. This is when you want to remark on what time it is. Look at the time, I'd better get going.
I better get going.
Well, I better get going.
I better get going.
Number 5, when do you want to head out? Do you know what this means, head out? This is a casual way to ask when someone wants to leave. So head out, this is a phrasal verb. The main verb is head and the preposition is out. And this phrasal verb means leave. You could say, I'd better head out. Remember, I had better, I'd better, but you can use I'd better head out. Or you can say, when do you want to get going? Get going means leave. So get going means leave and head out means leave. You can mix and match them.
Heading out?
So you're heading out?
Number 6, I'm short on time. This is something you can say every day because we're usually short on time. This is a casual way to say you don't have a lot of time. To be short on something, in this case time, means you have a limited or small amount of something. You could say, I'd better head out, our last expression, I'd better head out or I'd better get going because I'm short on time. Time is one common noun that you can use with this expression. You can also say, I'm short on money, I'm short on patience. It means you have a limited amount of, not a lot of. Or in a business context, I'm short on ideas.
I'm a little short on cash.
It's a long story and I'm short on time.
Number 7, I love this one. I'm here if you need me. This is a casual way to offer help or support. So remember your friend that was meeting with her son's teacher, her son Zach, to discuss his poor grades. And remember, you said, what did you say? You said, keep me posted. Share information about that meeting as it happens, as it's available. So your friend replies back to you and shares that information. And she says, his teacher said he should have a private tutor to help him improve his grades. Now you want to show support to your friend because this is a difficult thing for her. So you can say, I'm here if you need me. I'm here if you need anything. I'm here if there's anything I can do. I'm here to help in any way I can. So again, there's always multiple ways to say one thing in English. Start with one, learn the structure, and then see how you can change it as you get more comfortable. You don't have to use all of them.
I'm here if you need me.
I'm here if you need me, okay?
Number 8, I'm all ears. This is a casual way to let someone know you're listening closely or paying full attention. So what about you? Right now, are you all ears? Are you listening very closely to this lesson? I hope you are. Put you bet if you are. Now, you just said to your friend, I'm here if you need me. Maybe you could add on and say, if you want to grab coffee and chat about your son, I'm all ears. So you're offering support to your friend by letting her know that you are going to pay full attention, listen closely. I'm all ears. Or you could say to your brother or your wife, I'm heading out in 10 minutes, but until then, I'm all ears. So I'm going to give you my full attention, but only for 10 minutes. So again, if you're paying full attention to this lesson, to all these amazing expressions, also put all ears in the comments.
I'm all ears.
I'm all ears.
Number 9, can we take a rain check? Have you heard this before? A rain check? This is a casual way to both decline an invitation, but also to express interest in doing it later. So you could say to your friend or coworker, I'd love to grab a bite tonight, but I have a big meeting tomorrow. Can we take a rain check? So you're letting your friend or coworker know, not tonight, but hopefully in the future. But this is a very general expression because you don't have a specific plan to meet again. So you would have to arrange the specifics. Your friend could say, my in-laws are going to keep me busy this weekend. Can we take a rain check? Because remember, previously you made plans with your friend, but then her in-laws are coming. So now she wants to take a rain check. She wants to decline the invitation you currently have, but say we'll do it again in the future.
Thank you. Can we take a rain check?
We take a rain check?
All right.
Number 10, let's play it by ear. This is an expression I use a lot because I love playing things by ear. This is a casual way to suggest being flexible and deciding as things happen. So if you play something by ear, it means you decide as you go along. Remember your friend said, I need to take a rain check? Maybe she could add on and say, I should be free next weekend. I'll keep you posted. I'll share that information as it becomes available. You can reply back and say, no worries, let's just play it by ear. So you're letting your friend know that you'll go for coffee, you'll grab coffee whenever it makes sense for both of you. You're being flexible. You don't need a specific time. You're just going to play it by ear. Or if you're going out for a family dinner, someone might say, should we make a reservation? But then you can say, let's play it by ear and see how we feel. Because if you make a reservation, you have to be there at a specific time and you have to go to that specific restaurant. But maybe you want to be more flexible. You want to play it by ear.
You're right. Let's play it by ear.
Let's play that one by ear, okay?
Let's play this one by ear.
Number 11, hang in there. This is a casual way to encourage someone to persist through a tough situation. Hang in there is the same as saying, keep strong, keep going, don't give up. This expression became very popular because of this poster with a cat hanging from a rope, and the caption is, hang in there. This poster is seen in office buildings around the world, most likely, maybe even in your country, and in people's homes. It's a very popular poster, so the expression is very popular as well. Maybe your friend sends you a text and says, my in-laws are driving me crazy. Do you know that expression? Are driving me crazy. They are producing a lot of negativity or negative emotion in me. They're driving me crazy. But then you can reply back and say, hang in there, be strong, get through this situation, hang in there. They're leaving in 2 days. But you could add on, I'm here if you need me. Or you could add on, if you need to vent, I'm all ears. Do you know what to vent means? When you vent, it means you talk freely about your negative emotions. So you're giving your friend permission to just lay on all the negative emotions for a period of time, just to get it out of her system. That means to vent.
Hang in there, Andre. Hang in there.
Number 12, take care. I'm sure you know this one, but I want you to feel confident using it. This is a casual way to say goodbye, and it adds on a caring tone. This is used with friends, coworkers. It's used when you leave a restaurant or a shopping mall or anywhere. It's extremely common. So you can say, have a great night, take care. It was great catching up, take care. So just know this can be combined with other farewells. Have a great night, see you soon. And then at the end, you can add on take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Amazing job with this masterclass. Do you want me to keep making lessons like this? If you do, put let's go, put let's go in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson that will help you get fluent in 2025. Watch it right now.